Welcome back to Grapple FK, everyone. We are covering UFC 258. It's the main one, Usman v. Burns. So, or Marty, should I say? Let's call him Marty, Andrew. That's his nickname.
Marty Fake Newsman.
Marty Fake Newsman.
Yeah.
Why is my internet not loading? Okay, what the fuck is this?
It's your Afghan internet, man.
What is this? Bet365. I just want this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So welterweight title bout, obviously. 17-1-0, 19-3-0, Nigeria, Brazil. Although Kamaru Usman's American. 5-inch reach. That's huge. Yeah, I mean, what can we say? Kamaru Usman, great wrestler, NCAA, I think Division 2 champion. Was a Division 2 champion because that was the distinction between them when Kobe and him fought. I think Kobe brought that up a few times, saying that I'm a Division 1 champion, you're a Division 2 champ. But I mean, we in the UK don't really know what that means. I think it just means that Kobe is probably just a better mat wrestler than him. Or some shit. I don't know. He's competed at a high level.
If you're waiting to interject with some knowledge, I don't have any.
Yeah. As the Americans already know, we know fuck all about wrestling. So feel free to drop some notes on wrestling, Americans.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. He's a great wrestler, great grappler. He's also a black belt in BJJ under some Brazilian dudes. So, great grappler all around. Doesn't get many subs, but mainly just wears people down. Serious engine. He's stacked. And then we've got Gilbert Burns. Very good jiu-jitsu. Good striker as well. His striking's really improved. Gets way more submissions. So let's start this, Andrew. Both grapplers. What are you thinking?
There are so many question marks here.
Used to train together too.
Yeah, there's so many nuances and dynamics here that make this a really interesting and difficult to predict fight. The first thing I need to raise is, how has Burns got a title shot? Because who has he beaten who is good? He's beaten quite a lot of people and he's got a nice little run together, but who has he beaten that is good?
Woodley's not good anymore. Who had? Yeah, that's a good question.
Let me get his record up and we can...
So he beat Damian Maia, who, let's be honest, shouldn't be in the top 10 probably. Not anymore. And he beat Tyron Woodley. He beat Gunnar Nelson. You've got a point. He hasn't fought Kobe. Hasn't fought Masvidal.
Hasn't fought Wonderboy.
Hasn't fought Wonderboy. Yep, you've got a point there.
Hasn't fought the likes of Ponzinibbio, I don't think. Hasn't fought guys like Jeff Neal. Hasn't fought guys like a lot of half-decent fighters in that division who are occupying the lower half of the top 10.
Yeah.
So that's an important point. There's a massive difference in the level of competition. Now, I think one of the big things that we need to look at this fight is their respective grappling abilities and their respective striking abilities and what kind of game plans they're going to come with.
Yeah.
I say, actually, let's talk about the game plans. I think for me is fascinating because that's, I think, pivotal in this fight as to how it goes.
Yeah.
But in terms of grappling ability, I mean, you've touched on Usman's elite level wrestling. And we saw that against Tyron Woodley. We saw that in quite a few fights. Interestingly, when Usman fought Colby, he didn't want to go onto the ground. He didn't go for the takedowns. Understandable.
Makes sense.
Wrestler makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, when Usman fought, Damian Maia, he didn't want any part of Maia's ground game at all. Now, you could say, is that because he knew he had an advantage on the feet, which he did? Because my striking is
fighting clever, isn't he? What's the point if you've got other facets?
Yeah, or was it because he was scared of Mai's ground game? Was he scared of the jiu-jitsu?
Well, I mean, Maia is better on the ground than Usman. If you're taking that purely as one element of fighting, he's definitely better on the ground.
Yeah, so because Usman was scared of the jiu-jitsu. Gilbert Burns is, I was going to say, elite level grappler. He's a champion no-gi grappler in the ADCC divisions organization.
Yeah, he's very good.
So, we're kind of getting on to game plans here. So let's talk about Gilbert Burns' strengths and abilities, right? So Gilbert Burns, as you said, has got fairly decent striking. He hits hard. He's fairly explosive coming into range. He's got power for sure. He's got decent kicks. I think his striking overall, he's got head movement, which is something. It's like a 6.5 out of 10 is not bad, right?
Yeah.
Striking differential is not very good. It's borderline sort of equal, which isn't a good sign, to be honest. So yeah, we already touched on his grappling. Elite for MMA, it's elite level grappling. I think for example, in the Burns versus Maia fight, Maia was getting the better on the ground against Burns. But to be fair, when Maia took Burns down, he managed to get up on 2 different occasions and got it back on the feet. So he handled Maia's ground game. They could say, okay, that's really good. Or you could say that maybe he needs to he should have taken the fight to Maia on the ground. It depends on your point of view there.
I think that's a bad decision for anyone. I don't think anyone wants Maia on the ground in this division. He's too good on the ground. Yeah.
But looking at Gilbert Burns' grappling pedigree.
But I think Mai's is still better than his, right? He's won like 2 gold. He's won 2 gold medals. He's got a ridiculous amount of submissions.
Yeah.
So there are levels, and I think purely, as in pure jiu-jitsu, Maia is probably better than Burns.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So the issue is, I mean, so on the ground, one of the big question marks I have is, let's say if Usman decides to get Burns to the ground and go for the takedown, he can probably get he can probably get Burns to the ground.
Yeah, I think he can.
So when they're on the ground and, they're either in the scramble or Usman is on top and Burns is on bottom, what's that going to look like? Is Burns going to be threatening the submissions? Is he going to get position on Usman? Is he going to do enough to disengage and get it back on the feet? I have no idea.
Yeah, same here. I think on the ground, it's very interesting. I think in the clinch against the cage, I think Usman will dominate him. I think Usman is stronger in that area, as in pushing him up against the cage in the clinch.
Yes.
I think that's an area where I don't think Burns will be able to fuck with Usman. He's just way too strong.
And Burns isn't good against the cage.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah.
And Usman, he just makes it. I know it's boring to watch, and people make the foot stomp jokes and all that crap, but it's relentless. He gets you up against the cage, knees you, foot stomps you. You can't get out. You're just trapped essentially. So that's an area that I'm 95% sure that Usman will have an advantage in. Getting the takedown, I think he can get him down, but there are problems there. Guillotine, for one, is a problem. There are problems, submissions off his back, Burns. So I really don't know. I think physically Usman is stronger than him. But as you know, with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it doesn't really matter how physically strong you are. It's about movement, it's about positions and so on. So on the ground, I have no idea. I think Burns has definitely got the better BJJ resume, even though Usman's a black belt. but I suspect Usman knows enough not to get caught in a submission, and I don't know, ground and pound and stuff. And then if Burns does get back up, I think Usman has decent enough striking to stand with him. That's my opinion. And he throws more output as well.
Yeah, the output is definitely a big thing. The reach,
but I think Burns has got more power.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burns has more power. I think Burns is a bit more explosive. The thing is with Usman's striking is fairly rudimentary. He's got a nice jab, Usman. I think that's partly why he's got a decent striking differential. Just pops that jab. But Usman's striking is not sophisticated. He's not setting traps. He's not really countering. Like, it's not bad. It's not terrible. Like, it helps him win fights. I do not know how the striking battle is gonna go.
Have you noticed one thing about Usman though? He switches stance. Even though he's probably not down as he is down as a switch stance. He switches stance quite a lot in his fights, which can be very problematic for people. So he will start jabbing with his left, and not a lot of people realize this about Usman. He start jabbing with his left, but then he comes onto his right, and he starts laying. I wouldn't say laying traps, because as you said, his striking isn't that kind of level. But then he starts kind of measuring distance with his right, and he makes people circle into takedown territory, or he basically makes people circle whichever way he wants against the cage.
Yeah.
I don't think his striking is that sophisticated as you said, but I think his spatial awareness and getting people up against the cage is very, very high level. If that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of corralling people where you want them to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one thing about Burns on the feet. In that fight against Gunnar Nelson, he seemed very, very cautious. Now, Gunnar Nelson is not the world's greatest fighter. He's not the world's greatest striker by any means. But Burns just seemed kind of hesitant. I don't know whether it was because he was scared of the takedown. He didn't want to, expose himself. But he just wasn't throwing a lot. And I think
That's
maybe
strange.
Yeah.
Has he been knocked out before?
I'm not sure. Let's have a look.
Yeah, he has. Dan Hooker knocked him out.
Dan Hooker. Oh, yeah, he did.
Time back.
Yeah. He got banged.
Round 1.
And this is what I mean. If we look at this now, like, Burns has not beaten any big names. I mean,
No, the biggest name he's beaten is Tyron Woodley, and that's Tyron Woodley after losing to Kamaru Usman. So it wasn't like he wasn't, Kamaru Usman beat the shit out of him over 5 rounds. I think it was pretty clear that Tyron Woodley was a changed man after that fight.
Yeah.
So that's not. He didn't get elite level Tyron Woodley. That's the biggest name on his resume.
Yeah, there's just so many question marks here.
So why was he being so cautious? Because that's reflected in the striking as well. Because he only outstruck him by. I mean, first of all, there were only 50 strikes landed in the whole fight. I haven't watched this fight. I'm assuming it was very boring.
Yeah, it wasn't an exciting fight. They're both very cautious. And again, you can see there's only one takedown, so really not a whole lot happened there.
That's unusual. Maybe he was injured. God knows. I don't know.
Yeah, and also in Gilbert Burns' fight against Damian Maia, we talk about, Gilbert Burns' power. Oh yeah, he's knocked out Damian Maia. But I don't know if you've seen that fight. That was probably Burns.
Yeah, I've
a golden opportunity, because Maia, I think he's southpaw. So he threw the jab, head forward like this, right? And he stayed there for a couple of seconds. He literally left his hand there and his head forward. and Burns just boof, left hook and knocked him out. Like
his striking is poor, so knocking Damian Maia out is probably.
I could knock Damian Maia out.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But I think you could knock Askren out, though.
Oh, Damian Maia in a boxing match? We could knock him out. Seriously.
Nah, I don't think so. I think Damian Maia's striking improved over the years.
It has, but it's still shit.
It's pretty shit. Yeah, it's pretty shit. But yeah, on the other hand, Kamaru Usman, he hasn't got the power. He's got a lot of output. He has knocked people out before. He finished Kobe Covington. That was a good fight, man. I really enjoyed that fight. That was a good fight.
I didn't want to see a boxing match between those two. I wanted to see a grappling match.
Yeah.
That's what we...
Well, I mean, I found that fight very interesting. Just because they were tagging each other so much.
It's two second-rate strikers. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't that great.
And then obviously Jorge Masvidal, he just took him down 5 times, and Masvidal had no response to that. But yeah, I mean, he's beaten RDA. He beat Woodley after Woodley beat Darren Till. He's got his resume is 100% takedown defense, 47% takedown accuracy.
That's not actually correct because Damian Maia took Usman down in that first round. But I think it's one of those takedowns where he got him on his hands and knees. So I think they didn't officially count it. But it kind of...
because your bum has to touch the canvas.
Yeah. So Usman was on his hands and knees. He got the whizzer and then he just got to muscle his way up. But it's kind of a takedown. So
fair enough. Right, let's say 95% then. But yeah, it's a tough one. Both used to train together before, so they know each other's respective games. In terms of cardio, I mean, Usman's a machine. Gilbert Burns has gone 5 rounds once against Tyron Woodley. He looked good, but he's only gone 5 rounds once, whereas Usman's gone 5 rounds 4 or 5 times. Do you think that'll play a factor in this?
Well, the main factor is that Usman is on EPO, so he can go for days. He could go 6 rounds.
Which is probably why he delayed the fight.
Yeah, to cycle out of the EPO that's in his system.
Suddenly delayed the fight out of nowhere.
Yeah. I
They're
mean,
probably all on EPO.
Yeah, I mean, they both got good cardio. But if you're going to give anyone the edge, it has to be Usman, because that guy, as you said, is a fucking machine.
He's a freak. He is a freak. I mean, Usman, I find him incredibly dorky, but I have to say he is he's just a machine. This guy, he's a machine.
He is, yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one to break down. I think getting on to predictions. I mean, actually, just before we get on to predictions, how do you think this is going to go down? Do you think this is going to be big? Do you think this is going to be similar to Kobe Covington in that they just strike with each other? Or do you think Usman will go for the takedown?
I have no idea. Like, honestly, because this is the thing about the game plans I mentioned before. If you're Usman, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What do you do? And Usman always has a game plan. He always adapts to his opponent. So
he's very intelligent.
Yeah. So, as you say, I mean, does he go for the takedown and go for ground and pound? Does he corral him against the cage, get in the clinch, just wear on him against the cage? Does he choose to keep it standing? I think if he keeps it standing, this is where it kind of gets risky if you're Usman. If you keep it standing, Gilbert Burns has more power than you. That's a little bit risky. No, you're throwing the greater volume, but Gilbert Burns has more power. And he does explode quite nicely into range on occasion. If you take Gilbert Burns down, you're up against a very high level no-gi grappler who can maybe reverse you, submit you, or just threaten those submissions like he did against Damian Maia, like the heel hooks or the knee bars, and use that as a way to get up and disengage and get it back to the feet.
Yeah.
There's just, or you take him down and you just smash the fuck out of him.
Yeah, he could just ground and pound him.
I don't know. The things, if I'm Usman, I don't know what my game plan is. That's the thing. And there are ways for Gilbert Burns to win. I think Gilbert Burns has an outside chance of knocking him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think Gilbert Burns has an outside chance of maybe submitting him, maybe getting better of the grappling exchanges. Probably not.
On the ground, I'd say, yeah, possibly. I don't think against the cage or an open mat, he'll get the better of the grappling exchanges.
This is the thing. So this is American wrestling versus Brazilian, essentially no-gi jiu-jitsu. I know Burns does gi and no-gi. He's very good in both. But, we're going to see that ACAA, ACD, I can't remember what the letters are.
Yeah.
That high-level no-gi grappling versus American wrestling. Is that top pressure? I don't know whether Gilbert Burns can deal with that top pressure from an elite-level wrestler like Usman.
Yeah, I mean, normally wrestlers win these exchanges.
Insofar as they have a limited number of minutes in an MMA match, yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, Gilbert Burns doesn't have that much time to work with. If there's 2.5 minutes left in the round, that's only so much time. If this was a jiu-jitsu match, a grappling match, I would say Burns would probably get the better of him at some point.
Yeah, if it was a jiu-jitsu match, Burns would beat him 100%. If it was open mat wrestling, Kamaru would just throw him around.
I mean, if this was, this is going off on a tangent, but if this was, if there were no rounds like there were back in the day, in the early days of the UFC, Burns would probably win.
Yeah.
But it's not. So I'm very curious as to how this is going to play out just between those two respective grappling styles. On balance, I think you have to give the advantage to Usman.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what Usman will do is pressure him up against the cage and keep him there for, I don't know, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes around, make it dirty, elbow him, knee him, keep him there, maybe jab him, switch stance, stay away from his power hand, and just I think he'll be wary of the takedown. I think he'll be wary of the takedown.
What, him going for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he sees an opportunity, I think he's more likely to take him down in terms of maybe a trip against the cage or something, or just picking him up and slamming him against, off the cage or something. I think he'll be very careful. I think he'll be cautious taking him down in the middle of the in the middle of the octagon. Yeah. Because that could be a problem for him.
Yeah,
which is interesting. I mean, you going back to the power thing. See, Masvidal has stupid power as well, and freaky footwork. And what did he do with Masvidal? He just took him down, just relentlessly took him down.
Well, Masvidal just gassed in the first round.
He took the fight on 6 days' notice, so I mean, he was going to gas.
Well, so the point being, we didn't really see how it was.
Yeah, that's not like prime Masvidal, but I mean, still, like, he thought to himself, "What's the point of standing with this guy? There is an outside chance you can KO me." So your point about Burns having a shot at KOing him makes this very interesting. But
yeah, there are two ways Burns can win. He can win on the feet. He can win on the ground. I think he's unlikely to do either, but it's not outside the realms of possibility.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So what are you going to say? Who's going to win and how?
Predictions. I think Kamaru Usman will win via a unanimous decision, and I'm 60 to 65% confident of that.
I'm going to agree with you entirely. Yeah. Ditto.
But I'd like to see the odds and see what the odds are on, I don't know, Gilbert Burns KO or a sub or a finish or whatever.
Okay, so first of all, who do you think is the favorite, and what odds are you giving that person?
Definitely going to be Kamaru, probably minus 250, I'd say.
Kamaru, yeah, minus 300.
Minus 300, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And Gilbert Burns is plus 225.
Plus 225. So there's, yeah, this isn't going in the safe come for me. I'm not. I'm, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, when you look at the level of competition Burns has faced.
Yeah, when you think about it, Usman should be winning this 70% of the time now, the more that I think about it.
I mean, if you're having problems with Gunnar Nelson,
yeah,
that's not great. If you're getting banged by, well, no, Dan Hooker is pretty good. But yeah, can we
Dan Hooker is pretty good, but he's not elite. And Usman broke an elite fighter's jaw in the 5th round. So
yeah, can we look at Usman's Burns
levels?
Burns's record again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of wins there, but I mean, Dan Moret, Olivia.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people outside of the top 15.
Yeah, Mike Davis. Who the fuck is he? I mean, Alexei Kunchenko. Who the fuck is he? You know, these are. I don't want to say these are nobodies, but you know, these are nobodies. You know.
Who's Alex Oliveira again? That's the cowboy guy, right?
Cowboy, yeah. He's one of the better people he's beaten.
And that was a while back too, when he was actually good. Yeah. And you look at Kamaru Usman's resume, got Jorge Masvidal, Kobe, Tyron, RDA, Damian Maia, Sean Strickland, Marias, Leon Edwards. He's being a lot of good people, man.
Yeah.
He's been a lot of good people.
So we're thinking Usman for the risky come. I think this is somewhere in between risky and safe.
Yeah, I can't decide which one, but I think Usman will win this fight.
Yeah. The thing is, I think we like to have a hedge for the risky parlay.
Yeah.
There's no obvious hedge here to put on.
What are the odds for a Gilbert Burns finish?
We've got Gilbert Burns by KO/TKO 6-1.
Okay.
Gilbert Burns by points 8-1 plus 800. Gilbert Burns by submission plus 800. Yeah, so yeah, he's not going to win by decision. The only ones you can look at are a TKO or a submission.
What about a straight finish? Just the finish?
I don't have those on my betting sites.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, what you could do is just put a little bit of money down on the TKO and the sub as a hedge if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know. But with a hedge, I feel like there has to be like a real viable chance that it can happen. I'm not that confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance that he could finish Usman. Put it at.
But Usman's never been knocked out. Also,
no,
has he?
I think very early in his career he got knocked out or submitted, one of the two, very early on.
Yeah,
not in the UFC. He's never lost in the UFC. He's undefeated. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm leaning more and more towards Usman.
Yeah, he's a beast because if he wins this, who can beat him in that division? I'm not sure.
Wonder Boy.
I don't think he can. I think he's just going to do the whole cage thing with him.
Well, I say Wonder Boy just because Wonder Boy is just a very difficult style.
Difficult style, yeah.
So,
But then Woodley beat Wonder Boy, and Usman is basically
a better
Woodley
Woodley.
squared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Kamzat will just come out of nowhere and KO him in round 1. You never know.
I would love to see that. I'd also
You never
love
know,
to see
fam.
Kamzat just get ruined. I dislike them both. So
Yeah.
yeah, we still need to see how good Kamzat really is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that'd be an interesting fight. If he beats Leon Edwards in like some crazy fashion, then mate, it's on. It's on.
If he beats Leon Edwards, then fair play.
If he knocks,
everything I've
yeah.
said about him is wrong. Yeah.
If he knocks Leon Edwards out, Usman has to mail him the belt. Done. He just has to mail it. Just mail it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think Leon Edwards would win that fight, but you never know with Kamzat. He's got stupid power. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Got that kind of one-punch knockout power. Anything can happen.
So what do you think about hedges?
I was thinking, I mean, some sites do a pure finish, right? So I was thinking if like a finish is like plus 450 or something, then I'd put like a $5 down on a hedge.
All right, let me Google this. Burns versus Usman.
I can't believe Askren wanted to fight this guy when he got into the UFC. Do you remember how cocky he was when Askren first got to the UFC? Fucking hell. Those were the days.
Yeah. He's going to beat Jake Paul, though. I've got a ball tingle.
Oh, no way.
I've got a ball tingle, fam.
Dude, Jake Paul KO him, I guarantee you.
Yeah, I know.
I was watching Jake Paul hit some pads, I think, yesterday on YouTube. He's not bad. I know he's an annoying YouTuber, but he's actually not bad. I'm not saying he's boxing level, but I mean, it's Askren, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to ruin Askren, obviously.
Yeah, he's going to ruin him.
Potentially in like 10, 20, 30 seconds. Yeah.
No, I don't think that quickly because Askren's got a chin.
He
But
does.
I think he'll knock him out early, like within 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah. Well, I can't find odds for an Usman finish. Sorry, a Burns finish.
Well, fuck you. I mean, that's our strategy for everyone who's watching. Usman to win in the risky parlay. We're thinking possibly the safe parlay, and then hedge it with a Gilbert Burns finish. But wouldn't bet too much on that because I do think Usman is probably going to win this fight.
What site do you use, Waleed, for betting?
888.
888. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me look this up. 888. Burns versus.
They may not have it up, dude, because it's still quite early. No, it's Wednesday. They should have it up by now.
That's quite late, yeah. 888. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do you want to entertain the fans while I look this up? This is
Sorry?
Do you want to entertain the fans while
Shall
I
I give the
this up?
fans a song?
Yeah.
I'll give the fans a song. Or shall I just beatbox for them?
Yeah, do some beatbox.
I'll just do some beatbox. I can't. I don't. Andrew, don't.
This is what the kids like, Waleed. You know, that they're into this stuff these days.
Yeah. Well, the kids at the moment in London, they're just stabbing each other, dudes.
Yeah,
That's what
another
I'm
good
reading
hobby,
about.
yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, another good hobby. That's what the kids are into, stabbing.
Yeah, exactly. I think we need more MMA gyms.
Yeah.
But really, we should start wrestling here in like primary school or something, or at least in secondary.
Well, judo might make more sense because
Judo.
we have the structure for judo. We have a lot of judo gyms that kids do. There's an Olympic program that would make more sense.
Yeah, judo then.
Okay, right. I finally found this thing on 888. How will the fight end? Are you sure they have odds for finish on 888?
Yeah, they normally do.
Hmm.
They're probably not up yet. They're probably not up. We'll check again tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think it is up.
Yeah, we'll check again tomorrow. Well, anyway, I've got Usman via unanimous decision, and Andrew.
Yeah, I've got Usman via unanimous decision. Put that in probably the risky parlay. And if the odds are good enough, if you can find odds for a Burns finish, and the odds are maybe, as Waleed said, maybe plus 450, that kind of area, that's worth a small bet to act as a hedge just in case Usman doesn't win and Burns pulls it off. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. I think last week, not to gloat, we got all the fights right, but that fuck up Zalal, he really fucked up.
Yeah, what a cunt. He's dead to me. Like he is. He's
Yeah.
dead to me.
I expected so much more from him.
Yeah. It's striking shit. Basically, my instincts were correct. Like all he has is a jab.
Yeah, no, you were right. No, but it's weird because he took him down in the third round. I was thinking, why the fuck didn't you do this in the first round?
Yeah. Dumbass.
I don't know. I think I don't know. Yeah, he's still young, but
still
I'm not betting on him again.
We still made money.
We still made money because of the hedge on Danilo Marquez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came through. Yeah.
That came through. And then a few cum-cums, smaller cum-cums.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We don't need to be right in order to make money.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like what we do, as the viewers know now, is we analyze styles as opposed to these other people who just go on records and so on. We actually analyze styles and we try to think, how do people clash? And we were completely right about Volkov and Overeem, but we just at the time weren't sure enough to put it in the safe cum-cum. But I mean, in terms of the analysis that we did on, Volkov keeping him at range and peppering him, I mean, he absolutely fucked him up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. No, yeah, let's stop. Yeah, I'll just stop bigging us up. But thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to come out with more fight picks for this Saturday's card. And then the Saturday after that, I can't remember who it is, but more cards are coming up. I think there's one every week for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So thanks for watching. And please leave any comments. Take care. Bye.